Why starting a business has zero risk for me. Business is seen as a risky endeavor, financially, emotionally. In I take business as a subject in school, and one of the risks of being self-employed is like financial failure and emotional problems because you lose a lot of self-esteem. But I think it depends on what your definition of risk is. See, risk might be the loss of what you've put into it, but I see risk as the likely or putting you further from your goal. And then the level of risk is how likely. So, how likely is it to put you further away from your goal? And if my goal is to become a billionaire entrepreneur, then going into school and becoming an executive businessman doesn't get me anywhere close. Billionaire, probably a percent of the way. Like, maybe? Like, I'd have to be worth 10 million to be 1% of the way to a billionaire. And I'd have to be a pretty good fucking executive businessman for a company to make 10 billion. So job gets me further from that. But job is not an entrepreneur. Like, gets me further from that. So I see going into a job, a stable job that would bring a good money and that would be respected, as high risk. And I see business as low risk. Because for me, if a business goes into a gutter for 10 years and not for 10 years I'm grueling away at it and working hard and learning every day, it's like, okay, I've enough to pay the bills. I've got a roof over my head, I've got enough food, I can drink enough water. I could do that for 10 years because it'd be closer to my goal. Because eventually I'll learn enough and I'll get good enough and I'll be skilled enough, I'll develop enough character traits that I could become a successful businessman. So a 10-year grind in business, I'm more than comfortable with because it's 10 years taking steps towards my goal. A 10-year grind in a job, I'm not comfortable with because it's not taking steps towards my goal. And by that same nature, if it's not your goal to, like, if your goal's not mine, which it mightn't be because you're not me, then 10-year grind in business, you might look at that and go, oh, no, you might hate that. You might go, I just kind of want to be a high skilled individual who's an executive at a company who always gets, like, the money always comes in every month. I kept working hard. I don't have to worry about like finance and marketing and sales. I just have to do my niche and I have to do it very well because you're a technical person. I want to get paid good enough money. Well, then why would you start a business? Because that wouldn't be any closer to your goal. Now, maybe if you're watching this, you like business a lot. In which case, I'm going to tell you now, business is a zero risk for me. If you're like me, it's zero risk. What about the financial risk? Because I'd be a fool to say if you put money into a business and your business went under, you didn't lose that money. I can kind of understand that in finance. Money in, no money out, money disappear. Not a fun thing, especially if you've like got a family. I don't know what that's like. But what's the worst case scenario then? And genuine, don't go like, oh, I'll be arrested for tax evasion. I'm gonna be put away for 55 years, and they're gonna steal me like house. It's like, no. So it's a private limited company, so an LLC, limited liability. That means the company is a separate asset from you. So if the company goes under, you don't. But then you, they might be able to take your business's money, but they can't take your business brain. No one can ever take your skills, your mindset, your experiences from you. So after that business goes under, maybe you start out as no skills, but then after you come out knowing how to copyright, you know how to manage, you know how to sell, you know how to onboard, you know how to write SOPs, and then all of a sudden you can be like a COO of a company. Now I don't know if they're gonna just go, oh Jesus, look at this lad, he made a failing company, let's hire him. No, maybe not. But if you're fucking good at sales, then you could probably go to a few sales places and go like, yeah, I brought in 1.5 million in top line revenue while also working at other things, and they'll probably be like, 1.5 million, you say? We might be able to fit you in somewhere. So worst case scenario mightn't be that bad. And if you see all your money you put into your business as like, well, some of it has to be successful, but some of it can be a learning. I'm going to spend this money, I'm going to try this, and if it fails, that's okay, and I'll learn. Then you take the zero risk for that money, you put it in, you learn, you develop skills. So then your worst case scenario becomes better and better. So when you start out, maybe your worst case scenario, it could just be where you are right now. It could be that you go, oh, I'll be broke. It's like, you might be broke already. So you'd probably be fine. And you go, oh, well, maybe maybe you right now have 10k in savings, and after running the business, you'd have zero. But you'd have €100,000 skill. Oh, so you'd be better off. So it can be low risk financially. And then if it's low risk financially and it gets you closer to your goals, then it has no problem for it. So if you're like me, you want to start a business and your goal like $1 billion entrepreneur, or maybe it's $1 million entrepreneur, maybe it's 100 million, or maybe you want to be a centibillionaire. If so, I'd like to meet you someday. Then starting a business has zero risk. And I think anything that gets you closer to your goals is zero risk. And you might go, but you can fail at it and that is a risk. But you can fail at something that you didn't plan to do. I think it's a quote from Jim Carrey. I think I heard it from Jim Carrey talking about his dad. And his dad wanted to be art person, like artist, sorry. But he went and became an accountant and then got fired as an accountant. So you can fail at your backup plan. So if right now you're thinking, I want to be a businessman, but I want to take it safe and I'm going to go become an accountant. You could fail as an accountant. You could get fired and you could be screwed as an accountant. So I'd much rather fail taking a step towards my goal than fail never reaching it or never even taking a step towards it. So that's what I want from you. If you want to start a business, go ahead. You can do it. Learn your skills. Get better at it. Become a good businessman. Do all these things. And if their business fucks up, maybe start again. Like, you've learned a lot. You're never zero. Your bank account might be zero, but your brain can't be. So that's what I ended up. Go at your goal, because you can fail if you don't. And it may as well fail going towards something you want. And if it's not going towards your goal, then you're failing already. That's my video for today. Might be a bit shorter there. Yeah, 8 minutes. Hopefully provides value to you. If it did, watch more stuff, like, subscribe, that sort of thing. Thank you for watching.